I know that we would never have created the decluttered, simplified, peaceful home that we live in today if we had spent hours and hours at a time on it. I would have become overwhelmed, frustrated, and ultimately given up. Decluttering small spaces a few minutes at a time is what has given us the longevity to keep going and eventually create this decluttered home that is so easy to manage. Today, I'm taking you with me as I do a mini spring declutter, but instead of spending the whole day doing it, I am going to do it in under 30 minutes. So I'm going to set my timer for 30 minutes and let's get at it. Our oldest child, Leo, who's 8 years old, has recently outgrown these like booster seats for the car. So a few days ago, I said to my friend, hey, do you know anyone who wants this? And she actually said, you know what, we could use them. And I'm like, perfect, that's amazing. She was gonna pop over this very day I was decluttering. So all I did was take these out of storage in the basement. I put them outside our front door and she came pick them up and it was perfect. The next thing I did was head straight into our garage. Now, the day I was decluttering was still very cold here in our area, so it's not like I wanted to go out and spend all day in the garage. However, there was one section that had just been bugging me. Now, my husband is an electrician, and so he always has like a few electrical supplies, which is fine. However, there was this box, this little pile in our area that I know has been sitting there for, I'm not exaggerating, I think over a year. And this one particular item, like these one type of supplies, switches, I think they're called switches. He has had on Marketplace for sale for over a year. And I know that he wanted to like recoup his money, which I totally get, but it was just the point where obviously no one was interested. So I texted him a picture and I said, hey, are you okay to let these go? And he said, sadly, yes, you can. So I just boxed them up and put them into our donation station. Next, I headed right into our kitchen, and there is like an unofficial spot above our mugs in one of our cupboards where I kind of shove all the tiny toys. A lot of the time, it's little freebies that come into our home that I'm 99% sure the kids will never ask for, never notice they're gone, and never play with if I kept them. And I shove them in here, and then basically once in a while, just like this, once it kind of gets overflowing or full, I just go in and I pull everything out and kind of make decisions like, hey, did they ever ask for this? Or maybe I like made a rough decision to begin with, maybe I should keep them, or you know what, I know this can go. So right away, there was a couple paper products that I thought, I could probably recycle these. These were little posters, which are so sweet, and they got them from a little camp they did at spring break here on like our March break. However, the more I got thinking of, like, I know they don't care about them. We don't have a spot for them, and they're not like really into airplanes or anything. So I was able to recycle those, no problem, along with like a little certificate that Annie Rose had got at a free activity we did at our local bookstore over the spring break as well. And then a whole bunch of tiny things. This was a bracelet that Annie Rose had brought home from school. She does that regularly. No idea where they come from. And then this was a little Kinder Egg prize, which they demolished the Kinder Egg and left the prize for dead, so I know they don't care about it. This was again a little pin. I think it came with a Valentine at Valentine's Day. This is a cute pin that Leo got on a really sweet field trip he did with his class, but he doesn't need the pin. This was actually mine, a contact lens case. They come free with every time I buy contact lens solution. It drives me crazy. That was a whistle that I had found in my car. I'm like, no way we're keeping that. And this was a Happy Meal like toy that I know my kids just aren't into Pokemon, so I thought that was like an easy decision just to let that go. The last few things were these fabric markers that they had come home from my mom's house with, and we did do one day of like fabric marker fun, and then I'm like, you know what, this is not something I want to make a regular habit in our house, so I was able to let those go as well. Next, I moved right into Leo's room. He's our oldest, like I mentioned, 8 years old, and I just wanted to do a little quick brief review of his clothes. Now, his clothes, they are organized and he wears a lot of them. The drawers look a little like overwhelming at the moment, but I think it's honestly, I got thinking about it, I think it's just because his clothes are getting bigger. So we might have to like revisit how many drawers I use or where we put what. But anyway, I did just a quick review of that. The top level, the top drawer, are sweatshirts and pants, and then down here are shorts and t-shirts. You'll see I don't really do much with the shorts simply because it's not really short season yet, so it's easier to declutter things, I find, when they're like in season, because I can tell what they're grabbing for and what they're not. The pants, again, I think I found one pair that are simply too short for him. Leo is not really that picky about clothes, not nearly as picky as our daughter. So, which means, however, he will wear like anything. So he'll put on a pair of pants that are like extremely like way too short, and he won't care. He will just put them on. So I think I found one pair of shorts that were too small. The hoodies, although they're so bulky in there and they take up so much room, he's still wearing them a lot, and I wasn't able to find anything that he doesn't really wear. So I was happy with all that. The t-shirts, again, he wears a t-shirt every day, 365 days a year. So I am fine to have like a good solid t-shirt collection. However, I find typically if I get over like a dozen, he's just not wearing them all. He doesn't like fully rotate. So when I went through, I was able to find 3 t-shirts that I know he won't even notice are gone. I think one I noticed was quite small on him, and then the other 2 were kind of like just a bit babyish. Like, he's 8 now, he's in grade 3, so he loves, and he's really into sports, so he loves like anything that's sort of hockey, baseball related. One question I have for you guys: do you guys let your kids wear t-shirts from like their teams? So for example, he has this bright yellow t-shirt from ball hockey that he had from last year, and like, I personally think it's hideous. However, I do let him wear it. I've had other parents, though, clients, who just like do not let their kids wear that to school, so it always makes me think of that every time he wears it. So I just sort of like have to let it go. I don't worry too much about what they're wearing these days, as long as it's like somewhat bearable. And when I'm decluttering, I also keep that in mind. Like, you know, if it's a shirt that it's harder to match, I'm maybe quicker to let it go than something that's more neutral, just because then it's easier for them to dress themselves each day and to kind of look somewhat reasonable going to school in the morning. So easy peasy, 4 items out of there. Next, I went downstairs to our toy area, which is in our living room. This is a shot of the aftermath of Annie Rose's birthday party, when she was spoiled by all of her friends and family members and got lots of new gifts, including some few toys. And so what I wanted to quickly do was I wanted to go downstairs and just sort of see if there were any obvious, you know, low-hanging fruit toys that I could just quickly grab, get rid of, just to make room for these new ones that I know she's going to be using more and that are kind of like exciting and fresh and what she's going to grab for. So this basket is our large toy basket, basically where anything big and bulky lives. So I just quickly, again, it's not tidy. I'm not fussy about it. You know, it's big stuff, so it's kind of just whatever fits. This instantly, as soon as I opened it, I'm like, wow, this Hulk hand is like completely destroyed. So he has had that for several years. And so as you can see, this makes sense of why he wasn't playing with it, because it's completely broken. So unfortunately, that will just go straight to the trash. Then I grabbed that little pink, like almost like pencil case that I know, again, Annie Rose just hasn't been playing with. I think it's too small to really fit anything substantial. So I knew right away I could let that go as well, and she will not even notice. Like I said, when I'm doing toys, sometimes I do like a full reset and I kind of reset, make it tidy. This was not one of those days. Today was really just focused on removing like a handful of items just to make a little bit of wiggle room for new items that had recently come in. This side of the living room is where we keep mainly Annie Rose's Barbie stuff, which is like her main hobby or toy. This first basket is all clothes and accessories. The second one is all the actual dolls, except for a random table. And this is sort of furniture and bigger Barbie items. So that I was not going to be dressing today at all. I was happy with that. And she really gets like right into Barbies, especially when she has friends over. But this first basket or bin is what I would call like our small toy basket. Right away, I was able to find this case for like a mouth guard of Leo's that I know he doesn't need. This was a little free toy I think Annie Rose had got. It was like about learning to read, which she doesn't need. This was a little, again, like a freebie certificate she had done from an activity we did at Home Depot. This was, I think, a little airplane that they'd got in their Valentine's, but it was slowly being destroyed in here, so I took that out as well. This was a Bakugan, I think they're called. I can't remember. Leo was very briefly into those like many years ago. This was a fidget toy. I think Leo got that at Valentine's Day from one of his pals, but I know he has other fidgets he uses like he would grab more often. Same. I have no recollection, honestly, of this. I have no idea where it came from, but it's obviously just like a little fidget toy from Christmas. And then this is a play necklace of Annie Rose's, which was very important to her for a while, but now she's 7 and she's moved on to sort of like more grown-up jewelry. So I know she won't even notice if that's gone. Exact same thing with these snap bracelets. I think they both came in little like treat bags from birthday parties, but she's never like really played with them or, you know, done dress up with them. So I know I can let them go. Again, not striving for perfection, as you can see, just tossing everything back in. The real focus is just simply getting rid and making things feel a little bit lighter. This is a quick overview you'll see of everything we got rid of, including things I'm putting in garbage or recycle, and then a few things that are actually totally fine and I can donate and put into our donation station. So as always, I have decluttered more than I planned to. In 30 minutes, I was able to tack a few different categories, a few different areas, and fill an entire bag of donations, plus get rid of 2 full-size car seats that we no longer need. The beauty of doing like just small 30-minute sessions at a time is you can fit them in throughout your day whenever you have the time. I hope this has provided inspiration and motivation. And if you are able to tackle 30 minutes this weekend, please share below what you got rid of, how it felt, and if you felt motivated to keep going. Thanks guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.